first question, we just talked a little bit about this. Tell me a little bit about your experience in local government, how long you've been doing it and where you've been.
Okay, I've been a manager for over 30 years. My first manager's job was in Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. I was there for about 5 years. From there I went to Irwin, North Carolina. I was there for about 3.5 years. And then went to the town of Farmville and was their manager for about 22 years, and I retired. And since then I've been doing interim town manager jobs probably for the last 15, 16 years.
Yeah, what do you enjoy about interim work? You've taken on a couple of these different roles. What about that role do you like?
So I do like the fact that the job ends after a certain period of time, but I also like the fact that in that short period of time, in most instances I can make some, some positive, changes or work.
When you're coming into, the role as interim town manager, what do the first 30 to 60 days have to look like to produce a successful route?
I think first I want to meet with the staff to see what's on their plate. They've been doing this for quite a time. They know what's going on. They know what, projects should be moving forward, what they should be working on. There are over 33 FEMA projects that have been funded in this town already. So I think, one of our major objectives is to start moving those projects forward. Our citizens have heard about them. There's been all kind of news about the various projects, and I think they want to see things move forward. I mean, we don't have, our trails are damaged. Our golf course is only, 9 holes. So I think they want to see things move forward and to get Black Mountain back to as close as, possible to its, the time old self.
What drew you to Black Mountain specifically?
It's not far from home. I live just outside of Newlands, just about an hour's drive. So I can drive here in the morning and drive home at night. It's kind of close, and it's the mountains still. I love the mountains. I live in the mountains, so it's appealing in that factor. And it's such a nice town with the business district and the shops and the restaurants. I mean, it is a very attractive community.
What have you heard from town employees where their concerns lie, where they want improvement?
I think any time there's change, they're concerned. I mean, they just lost the manager that was their boss for the last 7 years, so there's always apprehension about what comes next. I just want to, soothe those fears and let them know that, there's a job to do. We're going to do what the citizens are requiring and what we're being paid to do, and we'll hopefully move, Black Mountain forward in the next few months.
What is your immediate priorities right away? What do you think needs attention right away?
I think number one is the building projects that have been funded and the recovery from the storm at the time. Also, number two would be the budget. It's budget season. We'll have to have a budget adopted by June 30th, and I'll be very actively involved in that to make sure we get it adopted on time.
You talked about communication and listening, to the people within this building. What is your approach to listening to, residents, business owners, that other aspect of who lives here and works here?
I'd say my door's always open. Our main focus should be serving the citizens of Black Mountain. If they have concerns or if they have issues, we want to listen to them. We want to address those issues. We can't solve everybody's problems, but we are at least willing to listen as to their needs.
You're just stepping into this role, but I know you're definitely familiar with kind of all the drama surrounding the town and the inspection process recently. Just want to get your honest assessment of, as someone stepping in this role, as kind of an outsider initially, what is your assessment of everything going on?
I don't have any control over what happened before I got here. I think my focus is to be more positive. Let's, tell the town story. What things are we doing good? What things do we need to improve on? But focus more on the future as opposed to the past. The town has a lot of work to do, and we need to focus on that moving forward.
From speaking from multiple business, there's a lot of concern right now. There's a lot of fear. What would you say to those business owners about those concerns that exist from the past as we head into the future?
I think our focus should be on the future with these businesses. I mean, we want businesses to thrive in Black Mountain. We want them to be successful. The staff and myself, we're willing to sit down with any business to discuss their concerns or their fears. I mean, we're not after any business. I mean, our vision is to make Black Mountain a successful town and to make the businesses in Black Mountain successful.
Do you see this kind of as like a shift, a change in the future of how the town wants to approach these business owners, approach these residents?
I think our goal should be to be as transparent as possible. I mean, we don't have anything to hide. If there's concerns or if there's issues, let's sit down, we'll talk about them. You know, if a citizen needs information or if there's things that need to be, sent forth from the town, we want to be as open and honest as possible.
The specific situation surrounding Black Mountain Brewing, how familiar are you with that as you kind of step into this role?
I have not been involved in that. I have heard from different sides, but I really haven't got that involved in that. I know there is a lot of interest in, trying to find a mutual, decision on this issue where, both parties may not be satisfied, but hopefully we can come to some, reasonable conclusion to get this in the past behind us.
John Richardson, the owner of that business, I know he definitely has expressed wanting to speak. If that can be done, have you had contact with John yet, or are you planning on making contact with John?
I have not yet. A few weeks ago, my wife and I came by, just to visit Black Mountain once I had been notified that I was being hired for the position. I did go have a beer at the brewery. But I have not had any conversation with him, and that'll really depend on how things move forward.
Is that something that you want to do, to be able to speak with John about his concerns? I know you weren't around for the creation of the problem, but I think you certainly could. There could be some communication there. Is that something that you want to achieve?
I'd say I'm open to having a conversation with anyone, whether it's a business owner or a citizen. I think conversation is good. We may not agree on things, but maybe by having conversation we can reach some kind of conclusion. We do have legal ramifications as to what they do. We do have there are statutes we have to follow and all that. So I can't say that I can do everything or just be open and and so it's time I'd be open to to a conversation with them.
Is there something that both the business can do and the town can do that makes everyone happy without having to go to a full-scale lawsuit, which has been brought up?
I would hope we could come to a mutual understanding and a path forward, but I've been involved in a lot of issues in my years of experience. Usually not everybody's happy. I mean, you may reach a mutual understanding, but somebody has to give on each side.
Do you plan on reviewing some of the past inspections of other businesses? I know that a lot of them are seemingly, in the past done in error.
I don't think that'll be one of my main focuses. As I mentioned a while ago, getting these, FEMA projects underway. The budget is going to be a huge undertaking, and I'm only going to be here Monday through Thursday, so I'm going to have to focus on things I can get done in those days.
How do you plan to handle communication differently during your tenure here?
As I mentioned a while ago, we're open. My door's open. If a citizen has any questions or any concern, all they got to do is call, and I'll meet with them. I think the town needs to do a better job of, getting, our story out to the citizens, what information we need to provide to them so that they are confident in our ability to lead and to make, Black Mountain a better town. I mean, we're open for any conversation. So,
As we move forward, how do you, convince people to trust you in this role going forward?
I would say I'm only as good as my word. If you have a question or a concern, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a dog in any of the fights here. I'm an outsider, but I will, give the citizens and the council my best opinion on what needs to be done. Then it's up to them, to actually make the final decisions. But I'll do my best to be honest with people. I'm never going to lie to anybody. I'll tell you like it is. I don't have a dog in the fight there, so I'm going to be pretty blunt, and honest with people. So
You're not planning on coming in and clearing house or shaking up things. Kind of how's that?
I told staff that I really didn't care what happened a week ago or 6 months ago or 9 months ago. On Tuesday when I started my time here, that I would base my evaluation of their job performance and their job duties based on what I see moving forward. So